Welcome back to this No Point Cast. We got a versus episode in the Primal Clash to Guardians Rising format today. I'm going to be on the left playing Espeon Garb, and Trevor's going to be on the right playing Drampa Garb. This is actually a pretty common matchup in this format. It's a lot of interesting interactions, especially when it comes to Garbodors. Both Garbodors, Garbotoxin and Trash Launch are really important in this matchup. I actually played this matchup on my last round, the very first regional in this format, Seattle Regionals. I day 2'd and I played against Finnegan Lynch, who I actually messed up who's playing what. Trevor's playing Espeon and I'm going to be playing Drampa Garb. But yeah, really fun matchup, really interactive. There's a lot of important aspects for sure. Espeon being Psychic Weak is a pretty big deal. Trash Launch Garbodor having Acid Spray, the second attack, can one-shot an Espeon if you have a choice belt. If you go Psychic, double Colorless Energy to 70, then plus another 30 lets you hit 100 times 2, because Espeon is Psychic Weak, and Espeon has 200 HP, so being able to knock out in that way, it's actually really important. It's something really important to keep in mind, especially if Trevor has a EV start here. Trevor's going to start with 2 basics. I'm going to start with 1. We're going to go for the coin flip, and it's a Tails. So Trevor's going to go first, and he does start with that Eevee. Oh, actually, I'm going to go first, but Trevor does start with the Eevee. And I top deck a Tapu Lele, which is pretty good. I can't use... I can use Supporter System because this is not current standard format. Trevor's taking a peek at the Ditto. Actually, a really important card in this matchup as well. When the items in the discard starts to go to 6. Getting a turn 1 attacher is actually really clutch. There actually isn't a way. There is a way for Trevor to knock me out this turn, actually. If he goes Energy and Kukui lets him do 100 damage, because I'm also Psychic Weak as a Trevor, so Trevor might be able to KO me. It's possible here, but I do have an Ultra Ball, so I'm going to be able to find at least another bench basic, so that I'm not going to be able to get fully benched. Going to find a Drampa there. Solid backbone attack for the deck. A lot of things they can one-shot an Espeon. The Garbodor play that I was talking about earlier, also Drampa with a choice belt and Kukui, if you have damage on your bench, can also KO Trevor. I don't see a Psychic Energy in Trevor's hand though, so he's going to have to try to dig for that, which is kind of a bummer. It kind of doesn't let him play out this turn as nicely as he would have liked to. I see an Ultra Ball in there, so he would have definitely preferred to take the KO here. Ultra Ball for Kukui if it's not in his hand. Which I don't see it. And then he would have got the Tapu Lele Wonder Take for Kukui and then knock me out, which would have been really, really nice. But unfortunately, he doesn't have an energy, so he's probably going to go for a different route here because he doesn't really have the option to just hit the guaranteed KO here. Even just taking out all the Trubbish on the board is a pretty big deal. And we're going to see 2 items hit Trevor's discard, the VS Seeker and the Ultra Ball. I have 1 in my discard right now, so neither of us are in the danger zone of getting KO'd. Trevor's Trubbish are in danger now because Trash Launch Garbodor hits 20 times 2 is 40, and then Trubbish is weak to Psychic, so you do 80, and it has 70 HP, so if I do have a boss and a Garbodor, which I see the Garbodor in my hand, I'm going to be able to knock out a Trubbish's turn, which is really clutch. Trevor's eyeing up that Espeon, but probably just want to go for the energy evolution. He probably doesn't even want to evolve into Espeon, honestly. Like, it's a pretty big liability in this matchup. There are definitely times when you want it, and I guess this time is okay now, but he does opt for that second Eevee, which I do like a lot better. Just go for the energy evolution, and if he is able to hit the energy evolution, at least he's going to be two-shotting this Garbodor. He is going to be taking a hit for 80, maybe 120, maybe 140 if I can find the choice band, but we'll see. He just goes for an N here. I'm going to shuffle the hand back and draw fresh 6. He's going to bench the Ditto as well. That Ditto can one-shot an opposing Trash Launch Garbodor if there are 6 item cards in the discard. But this is one of the interactions where Garbotoxin Garbodor actually comes into play because it is an ability. I think it's called DNA something, whatever the ability on the Ditto is. It just lets you use your opponent's active Pokemon attack, which is really convenient for KOing Trash Launch Garbodor once you get to that point in the game where your opponent has 6 or more items in their discard pile. And I do still hit the Trash Launch Garbodor, so that's nice. Trevor finds the energy, so he's going to go for an energy evolution. Probably just hit me for 60 here, and a Confuse, which is decent damage. And he kind of sets up for a couple attacks next turn. He could either Psychic, or he could Division GX. Either are fine. I think it's Division or Cross Divide, one of the two. Not a big Espeon player, TBH. Well, I do have a lot of stuff in there. I got a Float Stone, so I can maybe Swing with the Drampa if that's better for me this turn. Leaving this Trash Launch Garb up is okay, but now that there's already damage on it, it means that Trevor might just be able to take KOs of me. And now I'm at 2 items and Trevor's at 3, so this is a pretty good change here. I do need to find a Trubbish, though. If I'm not able to find a Trubbish, I might be in some trouble. I do have 2 VS Seeker in my hand and a Boss, so I could boss the Trubbish, which might actually be not bad, but I probably am just going to go for a Bridget here. Maybe an N. Yeah, N is probably better because I kind of leave myself dead if I go for a Bridget. As much as I want more Trubbishes, I need to find more Trubbishes and other things, like maybe another draw supporter for next turn, or some energy. Getting an energy attach off would be really good as well. I'm eyeing up that Bridget, though. I'm definitely thinking about it, but I'm not sure that I can go for it. I think I might have to go for a real draw supporter like an N. You can't go for Professor Sycamore just because you can't discard that many items, but yeah, I'm just gonna go for the attach Floatstone and then N, just thin a little bit and have a pivot just in case I'm able to. Oh, there is also Choice Band DCE. If I'm able to hit Choice Band DCE, I could take a knockout on this Espeon. That's a 2-card combo. If I can hit that, that's actually really clutch this turn. Hit the Acid Spray for 200. So that's kind of what I'm digging for with the N. That's why the Floatstone kind of got played. You don't usually want to play tools if you don't have to, especially ones like that are valuable on a Garbotoxin Garbodor, because your opponent can just field blower them, right? But I did miss there, didn't hit the Choice Band or the Double Colorless Energy. So a little bit unfortunate. Didn't hit an energy, but I did hit that Trubbish. The Trubbish is actually really important. So I'm just going to swing for 120 on this Espeon, which is actually pretty fine. Even if Trevor wants to kill me with a Garbodor, at least he has to put a Garbodor up his lone Trubbish, and then we're just playing that game, which is honestly fine. When there's 120 damage on an Espeon GX, it leaves a boss target open for me a little bit later in the game. And he does find another Trubbish, so that's really nice for Trev. He's going to go for a second energy evolution on the Eevee, which is actually really interesting. Maybe just going for the retreat KO here. He might be whiffing a Garbodor as well. If not able to find a Garbodor, then he wouldn't be able to KO with Garbodor. And you don't want to leave the one with all the damage in the active. That's just kind of a liability. It's an easy 2 prizes for me to take. Even with a Tapu Lele DCE. Tapu Lele DC Choice Band kills. So there's a lot of ways. Or I can go Garbodor Energy. Like there's a fair amount of ways that I can kill this Espeon GX in the active. We're going to go for a Floatstone on the Trubbish. Actually, that might be a Choice Band. Some kind of tool on the Trubbish. Yeah, I think that's a Choice Band. Oh, no, it's a Floatstone. It's a Floatstone. Maybe preparing for a Garbodor. And then he's going to go for a Choice Band on the other Trubbish, which I think is pretty fine. And Trevor's going to play an N of his own. So we're both going to shuffle in and draw 6 again. Classic N formats where there is a lot of shuffling in between the supporters because it affects both of you. Great card, though. I mean, this N is just seeing a lot of value for us. You're kind of seeing the value of N in general in this matchup, not having to... I mean, you can't really afford to research a lot of hands, especially if you have multiple trainers in them. The Trashalanche Garbodor just gets way too much value off of that. And if you're just letting your opponent get so much value off of Garb, like as soon as I hit 7 in the discard, I'm in a really liable spot because I have a Tapu Lele on the bench, and Trevor can just go Choice Band, Garbodor, Energy, Boss KO, or Lysander KO rather. And he already has the Choice Band on that Trubbish, so it's really not a super safe thing to be dropping a bunch of items in the discard like that. So we're just both kind of N-ing and fine being in control of the items that we have in our discard. Trevor, I don't know how many items he's in now. He played another Ultra Ball, so I think he's up to 4 now, perhaps even 5. But I think it's 4, which means Trash Launch Garbodors are going to be KOing one another. And he's just going to switch into the other Espeon and then KO here. He could have gone for the Trashalanche Garbodor this turn, but I actually kind of like this play because it lets him lock up with Garbotoxin Garbodor as well. So it means that I can't just drop a Tapu Lele GX, find teammates, and then get the guaranteed attack. There's a VS Secret in my hand, so I'm just eyeing up the supporters in my discard pile. Let's go Trashalanche Energy. I think I have the boss as well. Yeah, I have the Lysander in hand and a VS Seeker, so I'm kind of just considering. I'm going to bridge it this turn is honestly probably fine. I don't really need to kill anything. I can just wait until next turn to kill. I'm not in threat of KO. Don't know about that Ultra Ball. Yeah, just really considering the Ultra Ball because that's my 3rd item in the discard pile, and that just means I'm getting one shot by Trashalanche Garbodor. So actually, I like that not play there, just considering getting something else, but I might just go with the Bridget. I mean, the boss, or the Lysander KO on the Espeon is actually fine too. because I do have that VS Secret hand. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for a Bridget, find some more Trubbishes, because Trevor has another Trubbish waiting the wins. He has a Ditto as well as an Espeon, so he's like got a lot of viable attackers right now, and I don't really like Drampa isn't really a viable attacker right now until I get multiple energy on it. And at this point, Trevor has so many items in his discard pile. Like if he's surpassed, I think he's at like 5 or 6, then it's just not really something that I can just like play around. I just have to go into trash land because it's just I'm getting so much value out of it, especially when Trevor has a Psychic Weak Pokemon in the active. I may as well just be swinging for lots and lots of damage. If I might even hit the KO here on this Espeon. I think he's no, he has 4 because it's going to be 160. Yeah, so he has exactly 4 items in the discard pile, and I'm just going to trash for 160, setting up that can be KO'd by a Tapu Lele DCE Lysander in the future. So do have a lot of options there. We're gonna just kind of see what I draw off this next turn. I have a Float Stone, I have a Boss, so if I'm able to hit like, yeah, it really depends. If I had like an Energy even, that'd be so clutch. I attached the Energy already this turn, but if I had another one, then a Top Deck Choice Band might be really clutch, because then I could go Righteous Edge with the Drampa to kill this Espeon. This Espeon is definitely going to be going down later in the game. So yeah, let's drop some damage here. Trevor evolves into a Trash Launch Garbodor, ready to counter KO me as well. I have 2 items in my discard pile though, so he's actually not even going to be able to KO this Trash Launch Garbodor unless he finds Kukui as well. So this is kind of one of those important matchup nuances where, since I was able to really restrict, like if I'd played that Ultra Ball last turn, Trevor wouldn't really be in trouble here. But now he's forced to hit a Psychic, and he can't even Kukui off this, so he can't even KO me. He just needs to hit double colorless energy if he wants to KO, and then this stays in the active, and that's actually fine for me. It's pretty good for Trevor too, honestly, because he does have 2 GX Pokemon with a lot of damage on the board. However, he's also taking out my Garbodors, so if you can take a lead, and he does hit that double colorless energy, so he's going to be able to Psychic for KO here, which is really nice. But yeah, if you're able to just take out your opponent's Garbodors, which Trevor's been doing a pretty good job of, he's already killed 2 of my Garbodors, it means that, you know, I'll have access to less later on in the game. So if he's able to attack with these Espeons early, then his late game Garbodors are going to be better when we're going to be going for the end disrupt and trying to get the opponent to whiff. So I think I drew an Ultra Ball there. Yeah, I think I drew another Ultra Ball. So I'm just going to go in with the Ultra Ball, discard, I think a Float Stone and a Boss. So now I'm at 4. No, I'm gonna keep the Boss and then go Ultra Ball, because I'm at that point where it's already surpassed. So I'm gonna go for 5 in the discard. 6 is the big number now that I kind of want to keep it out of. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna VS Seeker for an N and play it. Yeah. Then we go for an end draw. Find the double colorless energy there, so that is pretty good. I am able to get the KO here with the Tapu Lele. And 5 in the discard actually isn't that big of a danger, because Trevor won't be able to one-shot me unless he has a Field Blower. And even if he has a Field Blower, it's going to be put up to 6. So he will not be able to KO me this turn, which is actually really nice. Kind of a nice tempo swing here for me when we're even on prizes. Tapu Lele finding the clutch DCE. Both of us finding DCE on the turns that we really needed to. Oh no, yeah, 6 items in the discard. So it was just a regular, I discarded the Ultra Ball and then VS Secret for the end. Yeah. So that's perfect. And Trevor's at 5, so we're at the point where we're just one-shotting each other's Garbodors now. And he does find that Field Blower, but there is only 1 tool in there. So, oh, and there he hits 7. So he's actually going to find the KO here. So that's really clutch. Finds the Parallel City as well. I don't know about that, honestly. Parallel City himself, if he had another bench Pokemon, I guess he didn't, because he would have obviously done that. But he does find the Field Blower for the KO here, which is nice. He doesn't have any other Trubbish on the bench, though. So because of that, he is going to be forced to hit this Ditto. But the Ditto, his own Garbodor is actually shutting off his Ditto. So he will not have access to the Ditto being able to mimic Garbodor's attack, because of its ability to shut off with his own Garbodor. So kind of an interesting interaction there. Good disruption early, but also shuts off your own Ditto, especially when you don't have a Trubbish like this. Trevor could be in a spot of trouble. He is in a pretty significant prize lead, but he also has a GX on his board that's got some pretty heavy damage on it, and he is getting end 2 as well. So his outs off of this are not great, and also he's not drawing very many cards. So just swing for the KO here. I'm in a pretty fine spot, honestly. Like, when you can clear your opponent's Garbodors and you have a Trubbish on the bench, like, one, he's not even threatening KO on me, so it's not that bad of a position to be in, because I don't think I get KO'd here. I don't think there's any way that I can get KO'd here, actually, unless he has another Field Blower and he can blow his own tool after he switches. But I think I see a Research in his hand, or Kukui. There is some kind of supporter in there. He's going to go DCE on the Espeon. See, and he's not taking a KO this turn. He did take a prize lead, so that doesn't, you know, he's not too far behind because he was able to find the KO with the Field Blower on that Garbodor, or that Tapu Lele the turn before. And he did hit a Professor Sycamore as well. Those are just proxies for Professor Sycamore because you need 4 in every deck, so... And he did find a Psychic as well, so it's kind of a forced turn for me to hit a boss. I really need to hit boss this turn to seal this up. But if I can hit boss Garbodor energy on Garbodor, then I have the Lysander boss. I keep saying boss because I'm playing standard a lot. Lysander, pardon me. And I do have the energy as well, so I'm going to get the energy on that Trubbish. And yeah, so he's just kind of let this Garbodor die. He kind of wants it to die because then that Ditto gets opened up, and I am going to hit the Lysander on the Espeon, so that's kind of a bummer for Trev. And the Garbodor not dying also means that his Trubbish, or his Ditto, he won't have access to the Ditto. So I'm just going to take an easy 2 prizes off this Espeon for a kill. And get the lead again, so I'm back at 1 prize and Trevor's at 2. So he kind of has to just... how many items do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's really clutch, because it means that... Yeah, so Trevor needs to hit me with an N this turn as well, which he might have. He does not have it. He's going for the teammates, so that's a pretty big deal because I have the VS Seeker in my hand. So I think it's very likely that I will be able to seal this game up, but we will see. And I'm going to go for the attachment on the Drampa, which I don't love the attachment on the Drampa. Actually, it's okay because this is my 3rd Trash Lunch Garbodor, and I need to hit a Rescue Stretcher in order to get any back. So I actually think that attachment on the Drampa is fine. But yeah, he will be killing me this turn. I think I really needed that though, honestly. Like, doing 80 here is not going to do anything. So I feel like attaching to the Trubbish probably would have been better, but I can live a hit with this, so it's actually not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, and then I just have a Lysander for the Ditto. Yeah, and then I kill the Ditto. There you go. So that's the game. That's the seal game there. Which is fine because I knew I had the win condition in my hand with the double colorless energy. So yeah, this has been Espeon Garbodor versus Drampa Garb. If you have any questions about the matchup, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to them. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.